ever wondered how top athletes remain calm under pressure and perform their best? Mental coaching is the secret behind it. Today, we learn about the importance of mental coaching in sports. Mental strength coaching focuses on helping athletes develop the psychological resilience.
Welcome, boys.
It's all about training the mind to stay calm, positive, and determined, no matter the challenge that arises.
I'm good. Welcome. So, shoes on the rack there.
Who is Bini Sharma?
Everyone's phones. I'm a licensed psychologist. I've been a TEDx speaker. I'm a mental strength coach. And now to the national sevens team for rugby. I'm also an adolescent mental health consultant. I work with teenagers, I work with parents. So anything to do with mental health, mental strength, mental well-being, that's my job. Please put it on airplane, on silent.
Bini's passion for mental coaching journey was inspired by her daughter, who realized by the age of 7 she wanted to be a professional football player. As she walked through this journey with her daughter, she noticed a gap regarding her mental preparation and support.
Go as low as you can. My daughter she fell in love with football at the age of 4. She started playing under 17, under 15, while she was 10 and 12 and 13. And so through that, she got a soccer scholarship to the US. And even now, she's pursuing her soccer. So when I walked with her journey, I actually noticed that this is one area which lacks the mental part of it. Get super good at managing what you're feeling. Everything else. The physical is so important and so is technical. Okay? But so is the ability to be able to sit with yourself on hard days. Actions from the past experiences.
With over a decade experience, Bini has worked with several sporting institutions. In Kenya, she worked with the Sekafa Under-15 team in 2019 and the KCB rugby team in 2021 to 2022.
Have you read?
She is currently working with the men's and women's national rugby sevens team, Shujaa, and the Kenya Lionesses.
I did a little bit of stint in India with Sports Authority of India, the hockey team. I have worked consistently with Diamond Football Club's elite athletes and their coaches. I've been doing that almost about 40-50% of the time, and the rest 50% of the time is where I do speaking engagements and my one-on-one individual sessions with adolescents and youth and parents.
The Kenya Lionesses have recently made waves in the international rugby scene and currently lead the World Challenger Series, having won 2 titles back-to-back. One of the ingredients of their success could be attributed to their improved mental strength.
We were with Bini like 2 days before our travel to South Africa, and there are some things that she taught us. The ones that stick to our mind was being the Lionesses, not looking for what other teams have and what they don't have, and also controlling what we can. We can control our passes, we can control our emotions in the field, we can control how we are running, how we are taking teams, which is nice because we just decided to control ourselves, control our games, play each game as our finals and not taking anything for granted. And I think that's what led to the great victory back-to-back in Cape Town.
Mental strength coaching has become an essential aspect of their preparation, helping them navigate the pressure of high-level competition.
For the mental part, we started with Bini, I think last year, and we were not paying too much attention into it. And we actually came to realization that as sports personnel, we might be strong on the outside, but deep down in our mental, we are really weak. And having the mental sessions, it's a way of bringing up the extra energy, the extra boost that we need as a team, not just as individual. Because if we have a good mental approach to everything, I feel like we will be like doing better and performing even greater.
With Lionesses also, to be honest, when I started working, in fact, I want to say, I just did 2 sessions with them. I think that they've been working far too long to reach there where they've reached. You know, it's no one, nuance that brought that win. It's years of building themselves through whatever that they've been through. And although I've worked with them in the past, I've seen those girls, how gritty they are, how hungry they were. So in those 2 sessions also, when I was working with them, the focus was just one goal. One shared goal, one common purpose, number one. That was it. It was we just made it so simple.
While mental strength coaching in sports is still relatively new in Kenya, it is slowly gaining traction in disciplines like rugby, football, and athletics. More athletes and coaches realize that psychological resilience is just as crucial as physical conditioning for peak performance.
Mental strength is an area which has been neglected or still yet to grow and be appreciated in all sports. Looking at all teams across all sports across the board, you realize there's a mental edge which the winning teams have. And when you look into the finer details, you realize most of those top-level professional sides have a mental coach. The mental aspect is whereby after all has been done physically, you need that edge. You need that X factor.
The fastest wins.
Yes.
Okay?
It's an important aspect of the game that people take for granted. Until you go for one of these sessions, that's when you'll know the impact that it can bring to an individual and collectively to a team. Because as a team, you all have a collective goal. So for me, it's very, very, it's actually due time. I've been asking for it for a while. And the first time I met Bini, she was so good to us. And the players are the ones who actually said that they wanted to do more of this. So we are creating a program whereby we can be doing this once in 2 weeks, if not weekly. And again, it's good because at the end of the day, after you've done your physical, you've done your technical, you've done your tactical, you need to know if the players are in the good frame of mind.
Athletes face challenges such as self-doubt, fear of failure, fan expectation, and pressure from social media. These mental barriers can adversely affect their performance if not addressed early.
So the lingo we have is very controlled. The things the players watch, see, talk, the interactions are limited. It's like going to camp, but not in camp. So we really control the environment, and we emphasize on what the mental coach did, said, and the activities they shared. And now with that, we are able to manage the outcomes of the play.
We have a policy nowadays whereby, because when you go online, you'll find everybody after a game just talking bad about individual players. Yeah, everybody's giving different opinions. So for us, how we learn to manage that is by coming and identifying that we can have a window whereby after a game, we do our recovery protocols, we do our meals, we do our game, post-game reviews. Then probably when we have a little bit more time, the boys can still go to their phones. But we are setting up a window whereby we can touch our phones and not before and after a game, just to manage the mental part, because sometimes people talk a lot of ill out there.
Versus constantly being on social media, checking who else is doing what, checking what people are talking about you. So my biggest work with athletes is also about reminding them that you have a choice to not have Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook and not constantly be hooked onto that.
Trauma in sports requires a cautious approach.
Always remind them whether it's an injury or not an injury, whether you're recovering or you're playing. Your nutrition and sleep plays as much importance as your practice time. So the focus is a lot more on nutrition and sleep and the importance of sleep. And then lastly, especially if you're coming out of a bad phase, it could be a bad game, it could be an injury, to really go more within. Again, when I say this, it's theory, but I make them do that. I make them do that through practices, through deep reflection practices. So it's inability to feel safe in your body anymore. So say a performer has probably done a big mistake in the last game, correct? And he comes back, now his body remembers that. His body remembers how everybody looked at him, how everyone was disappointed, how everyone like ripped him apart, and his own self-worth going down. So the next game, his body is going to be like, his mind will say whatever, he may look like he's ready, but his body is like, correct? So my job is always to remind them that there is so much you can do through body. It's called somatic work.
Whether recovering from an injury or a loss, therapy involves shifting mindsets and guiding athletes through their emotion.
The moment you shift your mindset to, of course, I'm an athlete. This is part of my journey. So from a victim mindset, it shifts towards a more empowered mindset. Because I'm an athlete, this is part of my journey. Just like every high has a low, this is my low. So we try to have those kind of conversations and make them work on their automatic negative thoughts.
Bini emphasizes the importance of serenity in coaching to create a distraction-free environment. The players' phones are collected to eliminate distractions, allowing them to focus on their mental and emotional well-being.
I think the universe agrees.
In Kenya, there's still a misconception that mental strength is less important than physical fitness. Convincing athletes and coaches to prioritize mental training alongside physical training requires an intentional plan.
We don't have a support network, and all we need is one person who believes in us, one person who believes in us even on the worst day. So that's number one. And almost all of us don't have that. And sometimes, at all times, we actually look outside for validation. So when we don't have that, then we lack the self-belief in us. So that's one of the biggest problems, that we don't have safe spaces which say, you know what, it's another day, let's get up, let's rise up. We don't have that.
So in terms of integrating it to sports, it will be a game changer, I can say, because definitely it will improve once players are able to be with themselves, with their feelings, know how to handle what they can handle, and also not focus too much on what they can't control. So for me, I'd like to encourage this to all sports teams out there.
For Bini, the most rewarding aspect of her job is watching athletes transform mentally, providing them with the confidence to perform at their optimum while managing the pressure.
Is that okay? Yes. All right, so what next song?
As the importance of mental strength in sports continues to be recognized, mental coaching is playing a crucial role in shaping the next generation of athletes. Regardless of gender or age, the need for mental strength coaching is universal. Mental coaching in sports is all about strengthening the mindset of the athlete. Therefore, in order to have a holistic athlete, mental coaching is integral. Gladys Midacha, NTV Sports.